Hi friends, it's Becky, and I just have a little bit of a little organizing video to share with you today. On Black Friday weekend, Bead Box Bargains, which is the sister store for Bargain Bead Box, they had a Black Friday sale, and they put together 5 little mini bundles that were really fun and really special, and they did not last long. They sold out so quick. Jenny and I each got all 5 of them. So I'm going to be unboxing and organizing 3 of them. One of them is very small, so we're going to include that one with these. And then the other 2 will be unboxed and organized by Jenny. The ones that I'll be unboxing today are the Crystal Flowers mini bundle with a little fidget spinner in here, and we'll take a look at that in more detail as we get closer. We've also got the Good Witch mini bundle in here, and the Wicked Witch mini bundle here. So I'm going to be opening up both of those. Jenny, look for her video and unboxing. She's going to be opening up the Lavender Elegance mini bundle and the Winterberry Wishes Value Companion bundle. So it's not as big as the companion bundle that we had, but it does have a lot of fun little beads, focals, and some spacers and things that would go really well with your Winterberry Wishes bead box. So let's get this one opened and get it organized into a 15 grid organizer. There aren't that many items in these, so I think I can put both of these in the same organizer. If not, I can grab a second one and do it that way. But let's start with the crystal bundle, and this one is mostly a couple of metals and a, oh, you know what, actually, maybe instead of putting this in the organizer, I might just make something with this, because we've got some crystal beads, we've got a clasp, we've got some chain, we've got some spacers, and one of these. In fact, yep, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make something with this at the end of this video. So stick around to the end. I'm just going to make a whole necklace with these. Maybe an earring. I don't know. But let's take a look at what's in it first before we do that. The first thing in here, this Find 4446, which I looked it up a little bit earlier because I was looking for metal content to know if Jenny can use it or not. And these are not listed as being nickel free, but I did use our little nickel testing kit on it earlier, and I did find that it does not react to that solution, so it is probably safe to wear for those who have nickel allergies. But it has this really beautiful cubic zirconia thing there, and this is super fun. You can just spin this guy around. It comes on a bail, so you can have that there with that. And that's the fidget spinner that came in that little mini bundle. Then we've got some spacers, this 1568. These are listed as nickel free on the site, and they're just some regular 3mm spacers. Oop, where are you going, Betties? There you go. And then we've got a toggle clasp. This is a 1018. And this is hypoallergenic stainless steel. And it's not actually a toggle clasp, it is a magnetic clasp. Tog 1018. And then we have some chain. This is really pretty chain. This chain 670 was also listed as nickel free. And you always get a very generous amount of chain in these packages. And then for the crystals that go with it, this is 04 0.73. I think these are Preciosa crystals. Usually the Preciosa crystals come in these sealed packs like this for these bicones. But look at that sparkle. Aren't those beautiful? Sparkly bicones. And I've got that open, so I'm just gonna stick this in the same Ziploc baggie that I've got my fidget spinner in for now. And I will sort the rest of these after I make my little necklace that I'm going to be making at the end of this. If you want to skip ahead to the necklace, I'll do chapters so that you can skip ahead to that. And then the last but not least in that mini bundle is Chris 2810. And these are listed as stainless steel. That doesn't say that they are the 406 hypoallergenic stainless steel. So I went ahead and did a nickel testing on that as well, using the solution that we have, and it did not react to it. So it is going to be safe, and these are just some little dangles. In fact, I think we're going to be using these for earrings for sure. Yep, we'll make some earrings too. It'll be fun. Some dangly earrings. Alright, so that is the crystal, what was it? Crystal Flowers mini bundle with this guy here. I'm going to set these aside and we will get into them after we unbox the other things that we've got here. I'm going to start with the Good Witch bundle, and we don't have a list, so I'm going to be describing it as well as I can. With some of these beads, and some of them have info on them, like these spacers are nickel free. I did test this. It didn't have that in the listing. This is the only other metal in here on this box. So first thing we've got is this pendant. It is one of these shell pendants in this beautiful, pretty bubblegum pink color. I love these carved shell pendants. You can see the shell on the opposite side. These are beautiful. Let's go ahead and get this guy right in here. And then we've also got some glass hearts. This is 7522. Sorry, that pendant. Let me give you that number. PNDT 3190. So these glass hearts. Milky color, swirled in with that light pink. Just gorgeous, guys. Those make great earrings, I think. Alright. And now let's get into, look at some of this lampwork glass, because this was a big sell for me when I was looking at this. Lamp 650. And this is a mix. Oh boy, there's a bunch of them. Let's sort them real quick. It's like we've got some cylinders, big and little. And littler. Is that? I think that's trying to be a cylinder. So these are all cylinders. We've got some drops. And a couple of ovals and some nuggety shapes. I'll get the nugget shape on there. A couple of rounds. Let's get a couple of these drops on there. Let's some cylinders to look at to give you some idea of the variety of shapes that you have, like these nuggety ones. Those are not cylinders. They are fun shapes, though. Yeah, you've got some big and little cylinders. You've got some drop shapes. You've got some rounds. I think this is an oval, or no? I feel like it's not round enough to be an oval. I think it's just another nuggety shape for these ones. But those are beautiful, and the color, the pink color that I'm getting, it's giving me pink lemonade. Like strawberry lemonade. Now I am going to open up a section big enough to hold all of those right there. Alright, and then next let's take a look at these fire polish beads. This is $73.53. These light romantic pink 5mm fire polish beads with some sparkle in them. And then we've got some 4mm drooks. This is $10.92. This is definitely a bubblegum pink. And then we've got these gorgeous little check drops with the alabaster filigree on them. And that is 7501. Where did I get 17 from? I mean, I guess technically there was a 1 and a 7 in there somewhere. So we've got these guys. And some crystal beads. These are some bicones. Crystal $39.97. This is a pretty long strand. I'd say that's about almost 12 inches on that strand. Just gonna untuck this. These in here. There we go. And last beads are these beautiful drops here, the check glass drops. They are $74.18. They have that hole drilled along the top there. I'm going to go ahead and roommate situation them with these other drops. Similar shape. Let's see. That's how I know that there's enough room that we can put our green guys over here on the side and have ourselves a little wicked pack between the two of them. Let me get these guys out. This is 20-piece flower spacer beads, 7mm, and that is $19.66. And again, these are lead-free, nickel-free, and cadmium-free. And our toggle, $9.46. It is gold plated with cubic zirconia. I'm going to go ahead and stick it in here with my pendant. So that is the Good Witch mini bundle. Let's take a look at the Wicked Witch mini bundle. Alright, and the only metals in here were these charms. Which were also 0 reaction with my nickel testing kit. Got fined 5009. And that gives you these leaf charms with the enamel on them, showing the back side and the front side. So you can see what those are like. Put them up here. And then we've got some green flower charms. This is fined 5008. I also had 0 react from my nickel testing solution for this one. That's front and back. Alright. Now some of our larger beads here. This is got to be check glass nugget beads. 7311. Some little twisty nuggets with this light green and milky swirl. We've also got 2 big gemstones here. This is 7487. I did not look up what this was. And honestly, when I saw it, I didn't read the descriptions. I'm just going to look that up real quick while I'm out here so that I know what gemstone this is. I think that is something I can do pretty easily. I have my computer up right here. Oh, it's right there. Okay. Okay, so these are Phoenix Stone Chrysocolla irregular tab beads. They are between 25 and 30 millimeters. And they have a hole drilled in the side, like that. So it's not drilled top to bottom, it's drilled side to side. Should make for really interesting bead stringing. How cool is that? Alright, now let me know what that is. Let's take a look at these Z beads. These are 10 millimeter agate striped Z beads. There's 10 of them in here. These are basically the color of pickles. These are pickle beads. Don't eat the beads. They won't taste like pickles, I promise. But yeah, these are the colors of pickles. I think I want to make my son a bracelet with these because he loves pickles. He absolutely loves pickles. He once ate an entire jar of pickles right before we went to the gym. I was at work all day and I brought him to the gym to train him up, and he was having a really bad time. And I was like, what did you eat today? And he says, I had pickles. And I said, well, what else did you eat? And he says, just pickles. And I said, oh, honey, no. You can't do deadlifts after just eating pickles. Nobody could do deadlifts on just pickles. But he loves pickles, so that's what we've got there. Anyway, So this is crystal $39.79. You can't do deadlifts on pickles. I love these beads. They are this beautiful opaque like Kelly green, but then they've got that gorgeous AB finish on it. So when you wiggle it, you get all of those little sparkles. It is magical. It is absolutely magical. This is the perfect thing to put in a Wicked Witch bundle for these bicones. I love it. Whoop! Where are you going, buddy? That's not where you live. I might roommate situation the charms with the spacers, because I've got these two can go together in one thing, but I've also got these two that are going to need their own homes. So let's get this finished unstrung. And relocate these guys into here. There we go, we're intermingling a little bit. And I can take this chrysoprase. I think that's chrysoprase. Is it? Did I get that right? It is. These are 4x3 pale chrysoprase faceted rondelle beads. So they are that 6527. Let's get up close. And you can see those facets on there. I'm going to leave them on their strand because they'll fit better in here if they are on their strand. Or they'll be easier to... Actually, this is too tightly wound to be able to fold them up. So here we go. They are going right in here. Alright, perfect. Alright, and 3 more. We've got 7617. And these are 2-hole check tile beads. This is Jet Picasso with pebbled olive on it. And so it's got those 2 holes running through it. You can see those holes when I angle that right through there. The holes run parallel to 2 of the sides on these square beads. I love 2-hole beads. They are one of my favorite things to play around with, so I'm glad that we've got a couple of these in this little bundle. Alright, there's just so many different colors of green in here. It's like there's not one green. Every single like variety of green is in here. We've got like mossy greens, you've got some light greens, you've got some bright greens, you've got some pickle greens, you've got dark foresty greens. It's kind of amazing. And then we've got these iris shaped beads with the table cut Z bits on them. Let's see if I can get table cut glass pattern marquee beads set in olive with Picasso. I've got the listing in front of me on my computer next to me, so that's why I'm reading off from it. So I looked it up to look up what this was, and so it's just going to make it easier for that. And then this one, this is 7242. These are table cut marquise beads, gray with pebbled mint. So we've got just a nice teal color to add to our variety of greens in here. These would be amazing with these because the that AB finish, it throws teal. They would be really great with those, I think. Really work well. since these are marquise cut, I'm going to put them in that section too. So that is Good Witch and Wicked Witch for the mini bundles from the Black Friday mini bundle that we had with those. I'm going to set this aside and go back to our Crystal Flowers mini bundle because I wanted to make a little necklace and some earrings with this. So let me go and grab some wire because I'm going to do a little beaded chain stuff with this chain and these beads and these spacers. We're going to do a little bit with that. I think we're going to go for 26 per gauge. How about, yeah, 20 gauge, that'll work. And this pewter color is a pretty good match for this stainless steel color that we're working with on here. So I'm going to use that. And I'm going to grab my small one-step loopers to help me with making some links. I'm going to get all these guys out of their baggies. Let's get all of that out. Let me grab my tools. And I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it on its bail and just hang the bail off of there because we've got the chain too. So let's utilize that. Let's do an actual beaded chain with this. Alright, so I don't want my 3mm. I don't want this my gray one. There it is. Okay. Yeah, this is my 1.5mm one-step looper. I'm going to be using it for doing the initial loop on these the simple loops for the links that I make. And then for the rest of the links, I'm going to be using some flush cutters, chain nose pliers, and round nose pliers. So these are the tools that I'll be using. Alright, and are these links. They are open links, so I can just swing them open like, what are they called? The things. Jump rings. That's what they're called. So let's make some links. I think I'm going to go with 6 crystal links. And what we're going to do is put on a crystal, a spacer, and a crystal. Yep. Like that. So to make the link, I'm going to do my initial loop. You want to put this in here and make sure that the wire extends past this part here that moves up through there. You want to extend it past that so that when this moves up, it slices it and gives it a nice flush cut. And then once that's closed, give it a little, very slight bend back, and that makes you a little loop. And I want these smaller loops, these 1.5mm loops, so that they are a closer match to the size of the rings on this chain. I'm just going to adjust that loop a little bit there, give it a smush to work harden it as well. There we go. Alright, and this is going to tell me how much to cut off for my other loop. There we go. Now, before I bend it and do my second loop, I'm going to use this as my little tool to measure how long to cut the other little, basically I'm making eye pins with these little loops. And then we'll use them like that. So I'm making my own eye pins with my looper. And that's going to make it easier because I want to do 6. Yeah, I think 6 will work for that. Actually, let's do 8 because I can use a couple of them on my earrings. Okay. Yes, 8 for the earrings. That works. So now that I've got another loop, I can figure out where to cut by holding that up next to it or close to it. That's just going to minimize wastage. If I do it this way. This just makes it a little bit faster, a little bit easier. If I just don't have to do both loops with my round nose pliers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what else makes it faster? Just buying eye pins. That also makes it faster, so you don't have to do this. You can just start with your eye pins already made. Okay, so 2 more because the next 2 will be for earrings. So we are making a whole set. Okay. I'm setting 2 of those aside, and I'm putting this away because I'm done with it. Alright. Now for these guys, I'm going to put some beads on, and then I am going to bend the wire over like that. So let's bend the wire because that's the next step in making these. After that we'll cut the wire and then we'll roll it up with the round nose pliers. So this next step is just getting my beads on. Why won't you go in the hole? There we go. Also smush that loop because I only smushed the first loop, so I'm just making sure that these other ones are good. Now, if you don't have enough leverage or you're not comfortable with bending the wire over with your fingers, You can bend it with your chain nose pliers. It's not hard, and I'll show you how to do that with this one. So if you've got it there in your hands, you want to take those chain nose pliers and rest the back of it against the top of that. You're not going to be pressing down. You're just lightly resting it there. Tip this so that the top of the pliers, this jaw is just resting against the wire there. And then close your pliers, and that will do a little bend right there. Do it gently so that you're not putting any pressure on the crystals, because crystals will crack under pressure. But that is a really good way to do a little bend right at the top very easily without getting into a bunch of trouble. Again, you can use those or you can use your fingers to do it. Since I already have it in my hand, it just makes sense for me to keep going with my fingers. And since I'm going to be using the same link for my earrings, I'm going to go ahead and make those links now. For these two guys. And I'm just trying to straighten this out. Sometimes if there's a kink in the wire, it makes it difficult for the beads to go down on the wire, or to pass past that kinked part. There we go. Alright, so now I'm going to snip it. Usually when I do the larger loops, I'm going to measure to right here because I know this will give me 1 centimeter. I want it to be a little bit smaller though. So I'm going to move this down to about halfway down my fingernail for my measurement. I know it's very technical, super accurate, and I'm going to go ahead and snip from there so it will make a smaller loop when I go to roll it up. Something that will be equal in size to my 1.5 millimeter loop that I just made on the first side. I'm just going to do that for each of these. Alright, so we've made all of our loop, and I'm just going to clean off my... So this is it for my waist, for my my wire, which is why doing it the way I did it works well for me, because it's minimal waste. Alright, so now I'm going to take my wire, and it's going to be a smaller loop, so about 1/5 of the way down from the barrel instead of like 1/3 of the way. Something that's closer to the smaller part of this barrel is where I'm going to want to start turning. And just rolling that back until it connects there. And see, that gives me a pretty decent sized loop on the other side that is about an equal size to the first one. You can roll back or forward. I find rolling towards me to be more more comfortable. but rolling away from you might be more comfortable too to do with your round nose pliers. I think that's one of the things about having different people is different things are more comfortable for some folks than they are for others, and there's no real wrong way. If the end result is right, then the method is also right. As long as it works, it's correct. Go. These are not parallel. See how when I hold on to the loops, they go like that? I want them to be parallel. So I'm just going to turn that like that. And it fixed the orientation of those loops. That's something I've been double checking as I've been going through this, is just making sure that both the loops look good. And one more. Okay. So I'm going to take my two that are going to be for earrings, put them over here with these guys that are going to be part of the earrings. And now I don't need these crystals or these spacers anymore, so I'm going to set them aside over here. And now I need to cut some lengths of chain. And I think we're going to cut them in lengths of about, how long? One-inch lengths, maybe? I think 1-inch lengths will work. So that is, okay, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 12 links. And I'm just going to find the part that's open on this link here. So that's 1, 2. Let me just double check my counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So this 13th link is the one that I'm going to open like a jump ring. I think I need another set of pliers or something for that. There we go. So that's one, and I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 1-inch sections and 1 2-inch section. I think that's how I'm going to do it. Okay. So let's count some links. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then this 13th link. Okay. Good, good, good. I know where I'm going with it. I might go ahead and let y'all skip ahead to after I've already separated out all of these links. So I'm going to do 6 1-inch sections and 1 2-inch sections, and I'll be right back. Y'all, I changed my mind. I'm doing 4 1-inch sections, 1 2-inch section, and then we're going to have 2 3-inch sections, so it's a little bit longer of a necklace. Because the way that it was going to be, it was going to be about maybe 14 inches without the extra length in the back. So we're going to do some longer ones in the back. Let me do something like that. I am eyeballing that instead of measuring it or counting them, just for these longer sections that are going to be the end of the necklace going along to the back to where the clasp will be. So we will have that. I'm probably going to use some 2-inch sections for the earrings, if I'm going to be real honest as well. So let me get another one that is the same length as this one for the back sections. Whoop. Okay, there we go. That's the one. Okay. So yeah, realizing that it was going to be too short made me change my plans for how many sections to go off. So these are 3-inch sections, 1 1-inch section, 2 3-inch, 1 2-inch, and 4 1-inch. Blah, 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 blah. That's a lot to remember, isn't it? And while I'm separating things, I'm going to go ahead and get my 2-inch sections for my earrings. Just get this separated right now so that I don't have to do that later. And I could just close up these links after I open them up, but I've got enough chain that I don't really need to worry about that. I can just discard them. Let's make these work. Wow, why am I bad at this? Okay, that one. Okay. Now the chain can go over there. And I'll add these two to my earrings supplies later. Alright, now for this, I had originally thought that I would just go ahead and string the chain through here. But then I decided that instead of that, I'm going to just grab a jump ring. I'm going to need some jump rings to attach my clasp anyway. So let's put those over there. And I'm just using some stainless steel jump rings for this. And I'm going to go ahead and take this bail off of the, it's got a little pinch bail on it, which is just fine. It's perfectly fine to have a pinch bail, but usually I end up removing these. There we go. So now the pinch bail is gone and I've got my loop here that I can attach to my chain. I'm going to open this link up here. I'm going to go ahead and attach it here. And then I'm going to count up. For my 2 inches, I could have just counted 24 links, but I counted 25 instead so that I can attach this to the 13th link, and it'll be right directly in the middle of this chain. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, hold on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So my 13th link is right here. Let's see if that... Yep, that is an equal amount of chain that is hanging off from that on either side. There we go. And so now a pendant will hang right off the chain there. And now I can open the loop on this link, attach to this chain, close it, open the link, the loop on the other end of that link, and attach it to one of my 1-inch chains. Go through the hole. There we go. Close that loop. Like that. And I'm going to continue on and work my way up that chain, adding these crystal links. You can use shorter sections of chain and more crystal links if you want more sparkle on your chain, or you could do longer section of chain and fewer links, but that is what it looks like on here. And I kind of love it. I kind of love the sparkle. Okay. New section. I'm just going to verify that my guesstimate for how long to do this back part was right, and that is going to hit perfectly. It's going to hit about midway down, right on my breastbone, just at the top of the breastbone right there. Not quite collar bone level or length, but just a little bit shorter than that. It's going to be a perfect length for that. I love it. It's so pretty so far, and this is all from just that one bundle. And I know I'm probably not the only person who's going to think of making this with that bundle. Just because, you know, simple designs like this are universal, and they are something that are classic types of designs where you've got your beaded chain and your little links in between. This type of design is a really great way, if you don't have a lot of a very special type of bead, to really allow that bead to shine and have its moment. You know, like Preciosa crystal beads or something like that. I'm just making sure it still looks good as I go. Which I suppose is weird because of course it's going to look good. It's sparkly and silvery. Yeah, I could see this in a jewelry shop. I could see this in a jewelry shop. Like that. Alright, let's attach a clasp. And this is just going to be that magnetic clasp. Oh, friend, where do you think you're going? Did I use the 5mm? I think I did. I'm just grabbing a second one because that other one just took a dive off my bead mat. And I got another one just in case. Just in case. Oh, attach the clasp, Becky. I put a jump ring onto the end and I forgot to attach the clasp. That was silly. There we go. Then we open this. There we go. Beautiful. And that's the necklace. I'm going to set this over here for now. And pull out these beads. Now, I am going to take one of these lengths of chain and I am going to attach this link to the end of one of these lengths. And then on the other end of this, I'm going to attach one of these little dangle charms, like that. And I'm going to do the same thing over here on this side. Actually, do these swing open? They do not. That's okay. I'm going to do the same thing to this other chain because I'm making 2 earrings, not one. It's called a pair. Okay. Now I'm going to grab one of these open links that I had pulled off when I separated the chain, and I'm going to use that to attach this link to the other end of this chain, the dangle. Instead of a jump ring, I'm going to use something that is exactly the size of this chain to do that. So I'm going to put it through the chain there, and I'm going to attach my link and then close up this loop. Just put those ends back together. And now it's like it's always been part of that chain. Let me do the same thing over here to the other side. These are just the leftover links from when I was separating my lengths of chain. Because remember, I could have closed them up, but I chose not to. And stop rotating. And make sure this is facing the right way. There we go. These are smaller than jump rings, so it can be a little trickier getting them back together. And once they go back together, they are good. Alright, so now that I've got my lengths of chain like that, I am going to grab my ear wires. And I don't think I have any ear wires already made, so let's go ahead and make some real quick. I'm going to cut off about a 2-inch length of 22 gauge wire. I'm going to do 2 of them. And I'm going to grab my 6-step bell making pliers for my ear wires because I like to use this for it. I use the smallest loop and the second largest loop. I'm going to take my wires and do a little twist around that smallest loop until it meets the wire on the other side. I am not going to center this loop. I want it to keep leaning off to one side. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So we've got our loop that leans away. And now that I've got both of those loops that are leaning away, I want them to lean towards the loop that I'm not wrapping it around, or away from the loop that I am wrapping it around. So I'm going to have them pointing away from, again, the second largest loop. And then I'm just going to pull my wire around. It doesn't need to come all the way around, just part of the way. And then I'm going to hold my wire just on the opposite side of where my loops are and push with my finger to make a shallow bend. And then snip off all but 1/2 centimeter from that bend of my wire. And then 2 steps to finish it is to work harden it. And you can use a wire whacker or a bench block and hammer, or I like to just give it a solid smush with my pliers from several different angles. That helps to work harden it. I have really good hand strength, like grip strength, so doing a smush works really well for me. It might not work as well for you if you don't have great grip strength, and in that case I would suggest using a hammer or a wire whacker. And a wire whacker is like 2 acrylic plates that you nylon plates that you slam together that are nice and flat. They work great for work hardening ear wires like this. And then the last step is to either use a burr cup or just a little metal file like this and smooth out the end of your ear wire. That is the last step. You do not have to saw at it. You don't have to rub really, really hard with it. Just some gentle rub. Check with your finger. And when it's smooth, you'll know that it won't tear up your ears going in. Because even when you use the flush side of your flush cutter, it can still be a little bit rough right there on the end of the wire. Okay, so now that I've got my ear wires, I am going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's see, is 11 going to give me a good balance? No, I want it to be a little bit more uneven. There we go, like that. So that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so 14 links up. That is where I'm going to put my ear wire. Okay. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14. That's what I determined was 14, right? You guys remember what I just said 2 seconds ago, right? Glad somebody does. Alright, is that going to face forward? Yeah, it will. Alright. Close this up. Make sure it's closed up good so it doesn't slide off. Alright, so that is going to be one earring. And now let's do the other one. Let's count the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, I didn't open this first, but I've got my finger over here, so maybe this will work. Maybe. Let's find out. Hang on, let's go around the other way. Because that way. Yeah, that way they'll be mirrored. All right. So there's our earrings and necklace from the Crystal Flowers mini bundle with our little fidget spinner. And another last look at our Good Witch and Bad Witch mini bundles. So you can look forward to Jenny's unboxing of the other 2 bundles that were on there on Black Friday. Just keep an eye on our channel or hit notify me to get notified when we post a new video, and you'll be able to catch up on that once it's posted. I'll also link it in the description below, so you can just follow that if it is after it's been posted. I'll put links in the description also to Bead Box Bargains. It's a fantastic place to get really good discounts on fantastic and good high quality beads. It is also the sister store to Bead Box Bargains, or Bargain Bead Box, which is one of the best value for money bead boxes out there. And subscribers to Bargain Bead Box get a 30% off coupon to use at their sister store every month. And so it makes a really good deal even better when you can knock off 30% on some of those deals. In fact, these were, I think, I did get a 30% off on these when I did that. Actually, no, it was 40% off because it was Black Friday. They had a separate coupon for that. Anyway, we've got a coupon in our in the description that you can use that will give you a little bit of money off of your first month subscription if you wanted to try it out. It is one of my favorite bead boxes. I never miss it, and I'm very rarely disappointed in what they send me. Until next time, my friends. Happy beading.